Good day, YouTube. It's the 19th of July, 2017. It's about 6:30 or so in the morning. Actually, on my way to work, but I'm about an hour early for a meeting this morning, so I thought I'd stop by and do a little video on the boat. I have posted a previous video that asked you guys to talk us out of this thing, but nobody did, so we blame everybody. Yeah, so anyway, here it is. It's at the barn. So last Friday, we spent about 3 hours pressure washing this thing. So this has been sitting here now since 9 days. It's been sitting here 9 days. 3 hours and a couple gallons of simple green, and we got most of the slime off of it. I missed a spot or two, but we got a lot of it cleaned up. The gel coat has been redone on this boat. You can actually see the separation between the blue and the white. I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually a lip right there. So this gel coat has been redone. There's a few scratches in it, but and, you know, a couple maybe little spider cracks or something, but all in all, it's really good, and all that's been done so far is washed. So there's still some marks on it and stuff, so it needs a good buffing. And then there's a number of videos on YouTube that show folks with fiberglass motorhomes and boats using ZEP, Z-E-P, ZEP floor polish to give these things a lasting shine. So that is the plan for this as well. Obviously we need to sand the bottom down and redo the bottom paint. And for that it would be best to get it off this trailer, which is a trick in itself, but I think I can accomplish that. Some of the other things that we're thinking about is I'm thinking this thing is too tall to go down the highway. I'll have to check the regulations, but it's like 13 feet or 13 and a half feet. That's maximum height for rolling down a highway and so forth. I hired a company through U-Ship to bring this here. They wouldn't issue him an over width permit. The beam on this thing is 10 foot 10. He could not get an over width permit because the trailer does not have a VIN, a vehicle identification number. So look at that ladder right there. That is an 8-foot aluminum ladder, and look how much taller this thing is. I have not stuck a tape measure on it, but if that top rail on the hard top isn't at 13 feet, man, I'd be surprised. And then that old spotlight and stuff up there probably puts it over. So you're talking hitting traffic signals and things like that. So that's kind of a walk around. Let's go up inside. I'll show you the rest of it. We have spent an hour or so cleaning out a bunch of junk that's in it. I tore out, in the back of the boat was a stupid wood bench. I tore it out. So we haven't had much time, just a few hours of time to mess with this thing. I've got the motor cover open. The story on this thing is that engine's got an hour on it. And it had some issues and they took it out of the water. So as you can see, the coupler for the prop shaft has never even been connected. It's not even aligned. It's substantially off. There's also a bunch of junk down in the hall. So this weekend I think it's going to be all about cleaning out the hull. I need to take a can of PB Blaster and start spraying everything that looks rusty. Right now the carburetor is froze. You can see wires hanging out, and you can see how close to the cabin the front of the engine is, and there is no access to the front of the engine. I mean, changing a fan belt on this thing it'd be like a royal pain in the butt. So a access door on the inside might be also be in its future. I don't like the carpet on the deck, but it's just totally glued down. It'll come off, but it'll leave all the glue residue. Still a bunch of crap in the back here. I'm gonna clean it up this weekend enough to it'll work good. That is the heat exchanger. That piece to rebuild that is like $1,000. And I was told it leaked, but there's an end plate on the end that they said it needed a gasket. So I don't know what to believe from these folks, because they said that engine's got an hour on it, but when you pull the dipstick out, the oil is fairly dirty. I know what oil looks like after it's been running for an hour, and it doesn't get dirty in an hour. So I don't know what to believe. I'm hoping it is what they say it is, but you never know. I also do not have a book on this thing. So I'm trying to sort out what's what. You know, on the front, I believe that's a fuel filter. That one might be remote oil filter. There's one back here, that total rust bucket thing. I think that's filter for the hydraulic system for the trim tabs. Lots and lots of systems on this thing I don't know much about. I'm going to have to sort it out. We got a lot of the garbage cleaned up. Cleaned the underside of this. I don't know anything about the radio, if it even works. I want to get a video of that so I can look it up and see if it's any good. Icon? Anyway, I'll look it up online. This is some sort of horn thing, but it's so rusted and crusted, I don't know if it's any good. The gauge is cleaned up okay. And anyway, I just pressure washed is all I did. I didn't really scrub anything down too much. We'll kind of get to it later. So the throttle is stuck. I think the linkage is okay as far as the cable is concerned. See the cable moving, but the linkage on the carburetor is stuck. So my good friend PB Blaster and I will go to work on that. So let's pop inside a little bit. Yeah, we've been cleaning stuff out here a little bit. Threw everything away. I mean, it's like going into like an abandoned house is kind of what this was. Everything was just left behind. So it's got an original radio in it, which we'll probably replace with a new style radio with Bluetooth and so forth. Because for navigation, I think I'm going to use a tablet and Navionics software. So we've got this thing plugged in over here. We're running the AC side of the world. We have the bottom cushion off the bottom bunk, so we had a bunch of life jackets and stuff stored in the hall area. That is that box right there with the grill on it is I think the 12 volt DC power supply, and this is the cabin heater. And you can see it, but here's from this side. And it's got a fan on it. And I'm not sure where's control. We haven't sorted this all out yet. So anyway, it runs off the engine coolant like a heater in your car. This is essentially the back of the couch, which then suspends off the roof to become 2 bunks. So this is a couple of single beds on this side. It's kind of chilly in here. I've got the front hatch open. Everything is a total mess in here. We're going to replace everything, including the foam. Rebuild. Those are the helm seats. Again, we're going to replace everything: upholstery, curtains, headliner, all that stuff. It'll all just be new. I think some of the Formica is still okay, but there's some brackets on the wall that are rusty, and we'll get those replaced. The refrigerator appears to work. I haven't actually made it get cold yet, but I turned it on the breaker box and it seemed to have worked. Some old papers. We were hoping to find there's supposed to be a book in here on this boat, have all the paperwork in it, owner's manual, all that kind of stuff. We haven't found that yet. We're not completely done tearing out, but I'm not holding a lot of hope for it. There's a bunch of garbage that we'll just take out and remove and throw away. Still and a bunch of general cleanup. There is the seat area, and here is tiny little bit of storage. There was some stuff there. Down underneath there was a fire extinguisher, and I'm gonna have to make an access door there somehow. So that's on the agenda. Know you've seen inside the bathroom. Really nice size for a boat. It just needs a remodel. That's what it needs, is a remodel. Take all this old stuff out of here and fix it up, make it better. So that's the plan. Obviously we're going to get the thing running first before we do too much stuff, but we'll probably just do a general cleanup in here, make it a little more presentable, and go from there. So that's a rundown on the inside of the boat. It's 79 Chris Craft. It's a Catalina 280 cruiser hardtop. Express. The Express means it does not have a what do they call it? The driver's position up on top of the hardtop. Flybridge. It's not a flybridge. So if it's a flybridge, they call it a flybridge. If it was a Express, which means it does not have a flybridge, and that's the case. It does not have a flybridge. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. I am going to hopefully get time this weekend to sort this monster out. A lot of work, a lot of pain in the butt to get to. But that's what we got ahead of us. So anyway, I think those bunch of valves right there are for the heater, the engine heat. Got to remember, some of this stuff is very, very critical that it work properly, especially when you're directly connected to seawater and so forth. So anything on this thing that's been anywhere near Mickey Mouse, I'll repair before we ever think to take it out. Wiring that is spliced will be soldered and shrink tubed and straightened up and not just let run everywhere. Fittings that are questionable will be replaced. Steel fittings will be replaced with brass, copper, that type of thing. It might just well take the time to do it all right, because a failure when you're miles away from land, it would not be cool. So that's it. That's the first little pass of this big project that we took on, and there'll be a lot of updates to come. So thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and wish us luck on this one.